powered by Mediacom. The number 25 Cyclones welcome number 19 Minnesota, Michigan State, and UW Stout for tonight's squad meet. Good evening. I'm Mary Rominger alongside Courtney Horseman. Now, Courtney, the team is coming off of a bye week last weekend. Kind of talk about how important it is for the team to have refreshed legs.
So they've been pretty much in the gym, like working hard still, but backing off routines, but picking up their conditioning to keep their bodies strong. But it's also giving their bodies a rest while they're not doing as many routines.
There's a lot of action heading into tonight's meet. We'll be back with the first rotation. This is Iowa State Gymnastics on Cyclones.tv, powered by Mediacom.
With UW Stout, Michigan State, Minnesota, and your Iowa State Cyclones. There's a lot of exciting energy here inside Hilton Coliseum and a very packed crowd for this Friday night. Iowa State's hyping up the crowd, and there's a lot of exciting energy. The national anthem is now underway, so we're going to take it to the anthem. Once again, welcome inside Hilton Coliseum. I'm Mary Rominger alongside Courtney Horseman. We are going to bring it to a quick video highlighting MJ Johnson, last week's Big 12 Specialist of the Week.
Before becoming a Cyclone, Madeline Johnson, MJ, had already been putting together an impressive gymnastics resume in her hometown of North St. Paul, Minnesota, where she placed first on bars and finished second on the floor, vault, and all around at the Minnesota State Championships.
Going way back when we were recruiting her coach told me that she was a gamer, a competitor, the real thing. Said no matter what, no matter how she's feeling, that she will provide optimal performance almost every time she's asked.
Well, I just visited here and I really liked the atmosphere of the team and the coaching staff, and the campus is really pretty. It just was a good fit, not too far from home, and I'm glad I came here.
As a freshman, MJ competed in only 3 meets for the Cyclones. It was in Hilton Coliseum where she made her career debut, scoring a season-high 9.75 on the uneven bars. On February 9th, during the San Jose Tri-Meet, Johnson earned a new career-high 9.925 during her incredible bars routine. Her routine led to a first-place finish individually and was Iowa State's highest-scoring individual bar performance since the 2014 season. Days after the meet, Johnson was named Big 12 Event Specialist of the Week.
It's nice for things like that to happen. It makes me feel like my hard work is paying off, and it reminds me that I'm a good contributor for the team and that I'm meant to be here.
She trains the all-around, but her best event, in my estimation, is bars. So the way she won that was surprising, because she was the very first gymnast up in the rotation, which is rare for that to be the highest score of the meet.
But striving for excellence doesn't come easy. It takes hard work, dedication, a good team, and as well as good habits.
MJ is an extremely hard worker. Never complains, always comes in, gets the job done, leaves. It doesn't matter what kind of day she had, she leaves with a positive attitude, and her work ethic is unbelievable.
Just about everybody on the squad is extremely hardworking, but she helps provide that, helps keep that culture active. Every day she shows up and she's prepared to work. Her shoulders might be bothering her, her back, her ankle, you know, whatever it is, and she is pretty tough.
After learning what a hard worker MJ is, I wasn't surprised to hear that her efforts translate in the classroom as well. She has received an academic All-Big 12 award and been on the second team Big 12 Commissioner's Honor Roll.
Her leadership, she's just someone you can like look up to, even though she's only like a year older than me, inside and outside of the gym. She does everything she needs to outside the gym, and that's something that I want to follow because it's important to like keep like up with school and like eating habits and stuff outside of the gym, and she's someone that does that, and she leads by example.
And on top of that, MJ and her teammates have a lot of fun.
If it is not fun, it's hard work, and hard work is not something that can be sustained without throwing in some levity, and you know, we try to enjoy everything we do.
She very funny. She laughs at almost anything. I'm not a funny person, but I feel funny when I'm around her because she just laughs at everything I say.
With 5 meets left before the Big 12 Championships, which will be hosted by the Cyclones in Hilton Coliseum on March 24th, MJ and her teammates will continue to grow and improve.
We want to win. We want to do our best. We want to hit 24 for 24. You know, keep building on our scores. We've pretty much been building every meet, and we're just gonna keep climbing as high as we can get.
For Cyclones.tv, I'm Les Maricia. Go Cyclones!
Warm-ups are currently underway here inside Hilton Coliseum, and it's an electric atmosphere. Iowa State will first start on the vault, but first I'm going to ask you, Courtney, what are your key players for tonight's meet?
So on vault, I have Kelsey Paz. Kelsey is a very powerful gymnast, and she throws up a huge vault that can score very high. On bars, I have Haley Young. Haley is always solid on this event. She never misses. She always hits her handstands, perfect form, and sticks that landing. On beam, I have Megan Sievers. Megan's very confident on beam, and again, she's also very powerful, but she stays calm up there, and she can always hit. Floor, I have Molly Rush. She's going to be competing for the first time on floor this meet, but she also is very powerful and has a great routine to watch.
And as we mentioned before, Iowa State comes into tonight's meet ranked at number 25 in the Road to National rankings. And even better for the Cyclones as they start on the vault. It is their strongest event this year as they rank 21st in the nation. Now, Courtney, what are some keys to the vault? I know the last time Iowa State was here at home, a big storyline was how great they did with their landings.
Now, yeah, landings are always important on every single event. It's very important to stick this landing, and like on vault, you have a lot of power running down a vault runway and hitting that springboard and going over that table. And it's really important to just focus on that landing and just spot it and know where you're at.
Well, we're going to get into the starting lineups for Iowa State on the vault. First, for Iowa State will be Kelly Martin, and then it'll go to Brianna Ledesma. Following her will be Kelsey Paz, then Sophia Steinmeier, then Megan Sievers, and lastly, all-around specialist, Haley Young. So to start it off with Kelly Martin.
Kelly is a great competitor on vault. She has a lot of power like pretty much everyone else on the team, and she is capable of sticking this vault.
Just waiting on the judges to give her her signal. Kelly Martin is a 5'1" junior from North Haven, Connecticut. Her best score this season was a 9.775 on the vault.
And she just got her signal, so Kelly Martin's about to go. Ooh, and it looks like she hit the table wrong and had to tuck her knees into that. They're definitely gonna want to drop that vault for sure, so
the girls behind her. It's very important to step up and make sure they hit.
And as we mentioned before, landings being such a huge key to the Cyclones' success in an area they've at times struggled with, and then at times just came out outstanding. So right there, that's not the best start for Iowa State, but as we have Brianna Ledesma following her.
This is a great vaulter. She's always consistent, always hitting. She has a huge Uchenko full. Again, Cyclones, this is not the way they want to start out their meet, but they've been practicing on staying confident when they have a fall or a mistake, and the girls behind them always have their backs.
The 5'2" senior from San Antonio, Texas will try to channel her best vault performance, which was a 9.825 earlier this year.
Des is capable for going higher, definitely. In the gym, I've definitely seen it in the gym. You just gotta rely on those judges to give them the score she wants. Judges taking a little bit longer than usual.
All the other teams are currently warming up and getting ready as well. UW Stout is on the floor. For UW Stout, you have Mulbach. And now Brianna Ledesma's vault performance will go underway.
Des is capable of sticking this. Let's see if she can do that tonight. Huge Uchenko full and just a small hop backwards, but what a great comeback after Kelly's vault.
Just a great showing there from Brianna Ledesma, and like you said, Courtney, her consistency has been such a key this season, and that's exactly what Iowa State expects of her, and that's what they got.
Here you can see her vault again. Just the tiniest hop backwards, but you see that excitement and celebrating after that.
Right now, Michigan State is on the vault. Lucanetti. Once again, next for Iowa State will be Kelsey Paz.
Kelsey is the key player for this event.
The 4'11" senior from Sioux City, Iowa. Her best vault score this season was a 9.850.
Again, just like Des, she's capable of going higher. She actually has been working on a Uchenko 1.5 twist, and that starts at a 10-0. A Uchenko full only starts at a 9.95. So you're going to see a lot of those tonight, and a couple of Uchenko 1.5s. Here she goes. Her hand slips, but she manages to pull it out and chest low on the landing, but not too bad.
And for that first performance on the vault by Kelly Martin, Martin scored a 9.550. Brianna Ledesma's score is still underway, but you see UW Stout on the floor.
Wisconsin's having a lot of fun out there on the floor. You see her teammates are on the side doing her routines with her, which is a lot of fun. There she does a front full from Pike. Almost out of bounds there, but she manages to stay in.
On Brianna Ledesma's vault score, she scored a 9.775.
It showed Kelsey Paz score. She got a 9.55. Not a score that they are wanting, but you're definitely going to have to count either Kelsey's or Kelly's vault. Iowa State right now has a 19.325. We currently have Minnesota on the uneven bars. We saw a fall there. We'll bring it over to Iowa State on the vault. Sophia Steinmeier.
She's one of those gymnasts that does the 10-0, Yuchenko 1.5. Just a little hop to the side, but what a great ball for Soph.
A little bit of consistency. Things seem to be climbing up for Iowa State on those vault scores.
I've watched Soph in practice all the time, and she is definitely capable of sticking that ball. It is huge, and when she does stick it, she's going to put up a huge score for the Cyclones.
Michigan State's first performer on the beam got a 9.525, and over on the floor for UW Stout, they've so far been awarded a 9.6.
Couple rough starts out there, but I'm sure the teams are going to turn it around and finish out this meet really well.
And it is an interesting format with this quad meet. It's hard to stay a little focused. Maybe that's what's rattling some of the teams right now, especially number 19 Minnesota, a team that you don't normally see have a slip up, but seeing a bit of a mistake there on the uneven bars. What can you say to the start of what it is like as a team member out there in a quad meet?
I mean, yeah, it can be rough and nerve-wracking at first because there is a lot of people in here right now. Like, it's very loud and upbeat, and sometimes it is hard to concentrate, but sometimes the teams do feed off of that, and they end up bouncing back and doing really well. So we're hoping that the Cyclones can do that today.
And now we have junior Megan Sievers. Her best score on the vault this year was a 9.925. Let's see if she could do something like that again.
Megan does a huge vault, a 10-0, front handspring from pike half. Just a small hop back, but what a great vault.
A lot of excitement here from the Cyclones. A great performance there to kind of up the ante for Iowa State and carry on that momentum.
Here you'll see it again, the front handspring from pike half. Just a little hop, but she's really excited with that.
Sievers is one of those competitors, I think you can attest to this, Courtney, that really hypes up the team, and when she gets out there, similar to Haley Young, they kind of lighten the mood and lighten the intensity and bring the team together.
Yeah, in practice every day, she is always bringing excitement, always in a good mood, and you know, it helps the team out a lot. And the same with Haley. Haley's always staying positive and helping the team out whenever they're having a really rough day, and again, it helps them big time.
And another all-around competitor for Iowa State, the senior from Des Moines, Iowa, Haley Young, is up next. Her highest score this season on the vault is a 9.9, so another chance to channel that and get something going here for Iowa State.
Haley, also another one very capable of sticking this vault. Let's see if she'll do it tonight. And just a tiny hop backwards, but she is definitely happy with that.
Haley Young, also one of the most consistent performers for Iowa State. A performer that they can really lean on as her being an all-arounder. You could see here on the replay.
She flares that out. And just the tiniest hop backwards, but you see she's very happy with that as she celebrates with her teammates.
Currently, Iowa State is the furthest along on the vault, a total score of 48.575. All the other teams are just a little behind Minnesota on the uneven bars.
She started out her routine with a shapash into a pack, and then that was a shapash half. She has beautiful lines on bars. All she has left is a dismount, half in, half out. She sticks the landing. What a beautiful routine for Minnesota.
Steinmeier scored a 9.825, and Sievers with the 9.875 in Iowa State's most recent vault scores. So now they're just waiting on Haley Young's score.
Unfortunately, we are going to have to count either Kelly's or Kelsey's vault with the 9.55.
And it looks like Haley Young got a 9.8 2.25 on her last vault. So a little bit more consistency there towards the end for Iowa State.
On floor, you see there Wisconsin. Beautiful double tuck to start out that routine. Having a lot of fun.
Now Michigan State on the beam. Every team right now is very locked in. The only team not performing you can see is Iowa State.
Flight series, handspring, layout. Just a small wobble, but very nice. She got a lot of height on that layout step out. Full turn. Again, just little tiny checks, but definitely want to bounce back from those.
Good performance over there for Minnesota.
Split jump with the straddle quarter. Very nice flexibility. Sets up for her dismount. She has a side aerial full with a stuck landing, and that was a great routine for Michigan State.
All the scores are starting to roll in here. Michigan State has their final performer on the uneven bars. And that'll be Haley Westney. Excuse me, on the beam, it'll be Haley Westney. And right now, with 4 out of the 6 competitors for Michigan State, the team has a 38.150.
It's always rough starting on beam for a competition because you're most nervous on beam, and to start it out, you know, it can be really tough. And honestly, as a gymnast, I did not like starting on beam at competitions because I was always nervous walking in. But once you get the feel of the competition going throughout the events, the less nervous you feel. So it's important to stay calm for this first event and know that you can hit your routines.
Iowa State currently with the lead as Minnesota has concluded their rotation on the uneven bars. Minnesota ended with a 47.55 and Iowa State with a 48.575. With both of those teams being the only 2 ranked teams heading into this quad meet, those are the 2 teams to watch, you could say. A big reason why Iowa State was able to maintain the lead despite a little bit of a shaky start was because of a wobbly performance from one of the competitors for Minnesota. In that moment, Courtney, when one of the competitors slips off of the uneven bars, what's kind of the mentality that goes through your head in order to either continue on with your routine or just, you know, try to maintain composure?
You know, as the gymnast that she slips off, through her head, she's definitely mad at herself, but you know, she has to finish out the routine as best as she can because you never know if the girls behind her are gonna have a slip off as well. And like if they do, you definitely want one of those scores to be higher so it can count. You know, every score can count towards a routine no matter what happens, and it's always important just to keep your composure and, you know, finish out that routine as well as you can.
And what would you say is more of a test to a gymnast falling on the uneven bars? Is it a little bit of sweat gets into the hands of the gymnast with the chalk, or is it just the grip not being tight enough?
You know, it can be either of those, but it can also be nerves getting onto her, or even if she just like released the bar differently than she normally does. You know, it can honestly be anything, but you know, they try not to make excuses, and usually it's like it got to their head, or at least that's what the coaches would say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like we don't know if it was just sweat that made her fall off or if it was her nerves getting to her.
And you can see here Michigan State on the beam. Haley Westney is the final competitor. Before her with 5 out of the 6 competitors, Michigan State has a 47.9. Haley Westney with a strong finish and a strong landing.
That was very different dismount than you usually see. She did a gainer layout, very hard to do, but she makes it look pretty easy.
And over for UW Stout on the floor, it is Shade.
She had a great routine, as you see. She's very happy with it.
So as all the teams are rounding out their performances, so far for the scores, we have UW Stout, as you can see there, with a 36.9. Michigan State on the beam with a 47.9. Minnesota on the bars with a 48.35. And Iowa State with a 48.85. Michigan State with their final competitor on the beam. As we reflect on how Iowa State did on the vault, they didn't have the showing as the stat that we mentioned before of that being their strongest event, being ranked 21st in the nation. What's kind of the focus heading into the vault at practice?
You know, it's just going in and doing not a lot of numbers. I actually was able to talk to Haley earlier this week, but they've been mainly focusing on quality over quantity, and they just want to make sure that they're doing their routines the right way, so they don't have to do a lot of numbers. And I know they've been working hard at that and like working hard on their form and step landings.
And now all of Michigan State's numbers are in on the beam, 48.275. You still see a competitor here though for Michigan State. Now the final competitor for this first rotation is UW Stout.
Now the Shade Boone. Run up handspring, 1.5 front layout. Beautiful. She's a very powerful gymnast. A lot of bounce in her tumbling. And a great way to finish out floor.
And once that score finishes out, it'll look like Iowa State will come out of the first rotation with the lead on top. All right, you're watching Iowa State Gymnastics on Cyclones.tv, powered by Mediacom.
Talk about how that went for you guys.
Well, it was pretty good. You know, we had a couple errors in the first couple spots in our lineup, but nothing that these girls can't handle going into the next 3 rotations.
Coach, now you guys are getting ready for the bars. Your thoughts on that?
You know, they had a great warm-up today, so we're just really looking for hitting those handstands and sticking those landings.
Okay. Thank you so much, Coach. You're watching Iowa State Gymnastics, powered by Mediacom.
Of Iowa State, we have the final scores for that first rotation, and Iowa State came out on top. Iowa State had a final score of 48.85. Minnesota came in second with a 48.4. Michigan State came in third with a 48.275, and then UW Stout rounded it out with a 46.3. Now the leaderboard for all of the gymnasts in their individual events, Iowa State's leader for the vault was Megan Sievers, who scored a 9.875. Next for Minnesota on the uneven bars was Lexi Ramler, who scored a 9.9. Following her was Michigan State. Haley Westney was the leader on the balance beam with a final score of 9.825. And lastly for UW Stout was Maddie Mullenbach with the floor, and she scored a 9.6. So overall, Nothing there too surprising, you would say, Courtney, huh?
Well, I mean, they obviously had to count one slip up on the ball, but they're going to turn it around here and stay focused and make sure they hit the rest of this meet perfectly. They've been practicing it in practice, and they do really well with it.
And overall, Iowa State was expected to see them come out on top if they were to perform to their best ability, which they did a decent amount because the ball is, of course, their best event. And then uneven bars, you saw Minnesota get a little shaky there, but it seems like we should expect them to come out on top, so Iowa State will need to match that and be even better than they were in their first event. We can get into the starting lineups for the bars. It'll start off with Madeline Johnson, aka MJ Johnson, who we featured in the beginning of tonight's broadcast, as she was last week's Big 12 event specialist of the week.
Lined up for her dismount. Ooh, and she actually pulled into the bar and hit her feet. I hope she's okay. It's, again, not a start that the Cyclones want, but the girls behind her will have her back and finish out this rotation really well.
She's walking well. She's talking with coach, so other than a little bit of shock, she seems to be doing well with her body, for that matter. Next is Laura Burns. Following her will be Megan Sievers, then Brianna Ledesma, then all-arounder Haley Young, and Hillary Green. Right now you're watching on the big screen UW Stout on the vault.
She does a Uchenko layout, not as hard as what the other girls are doing, but pretty solid and a nice, powerful vault.
And now we're tuning in to Minnesota. So far, a great showing on the beam.
Just a little step on that dismount, but a great way to start out their rotation on beam.
And as you mentioned before, Courtney, Minnesota is very strong on the beam, and you kind of saw that there despite a little bit of a shaky landing. What the first competitor did,
yeah,
it was Montgomery, had a great routine there.
Yeah, they do really well on beam. Every time I see them, they're very solid. Very rare to see them fall, and I think beam is definitely one of their top events.
Next you have Laura Burns here getting ready for Iowa State on those uneven bars.
Laura has a beautiful bar routine. It's definitely going to be tough watching MJ fall and having to come back and make this routine, but she's capable of doing it. She has an amazing bar routine, and if she hits this, she's going to score very high.
She's a 5'2" sophomore from St. Charles, Illinois, and her best score and career best is a 9.8 on the uneven bars.
She started out that routine with a huge release move, beautiful, into a toe handstand, right into a bail. Just has to hit this last handstand, and she does, lining up for her dismount, she does a double layout. See if she can stick this tonight. Just a little hop forwards, but a great routine to come back after MJ's fall.
A great showing there from the young Laura Burns.
You see her dismount again here. See she does a small hop forwards. Could have got her body up above her bottom of her legs better, but a great routine.
And what I always say is how a team responds is what really shows their character. So to see Laura Burns, the young sophomore, come out and stay focused, stay poised, and do what she needed to do for her team following MJ's fall on the uneven bars says a lot. You can see here for Minnesota, Mary Corlin Downs.
She actually used to come here. She transferred to Minnesota after she had ACL surgery, but she did fall in the beginning of her routine, but she's finishing out pretty strong. It's a pitch kick into a gainer full with a stuck landing. Besides that fall, that was a beautiful routine for Mary.
Absolutely, and to see a player who left because of injury, not really a reason, any negative reason, what's kind of the response when she comes back here? Is able to talk to the team, or what's kind of going through her head?
I mean, this team is very nice to anyone that comes here, and having like someone come back from the past, it's amazing to have that because they stay connected throughout the years and they're so like friendly and helpful to them as well.
And you can see Megan Sievers here on the bars.
Finishing out with a falling dismount, just a hop backwards, but that was a very solid routine for Megan.
Very close to the edge of the mat there, so it was hard not to have that bounce back, but her career best on the bars is a 9.9. That'll round out the first 3 competitors for Iowa State on the bars. MJ Johnson scored a 9.05 and Laura Burns scored a 9.725. Montgomery on the beam to start it out for Minnesota.
You see on fault there, she did a U-triangle layout. Very powerful. She was a little on the side of the table. Looked like she was going to miss her hand, but she pulled it out and made it look really well.
Next for Minnesota is Ivy Liu. Ivy Liu, one of Minnesota's best competitors overall.
I've watched a couple videos of her. She's very fun to watch, very beautiful gymnast, very solid.
She recently scored a 10 on a beam performance and has been making notes in Minnesota's history books already for quite some time this season. Her recent 10 on the beam was just the second one in Gopher history on the beam.
And you see Des just finished up her bar routine there. She also had a very solid bar routine with just a little hop on that dismount. You see right here again, there's her dismount. Sorry, a hop forwards, not backwards, but a great routine for Des.
She's always one to be pumped and get the team very excited. Minnesota finished their performance by Ivy Liu on the beam. Looking forward to seeing the final score on that one.
See on the bottom left corner, huge vault. Front handspring, front pike, a lot of power. You see that hop forwards, but a great vault for Wisconsin Stout.
Megan Sievers scored a 9.775 on her bar routine. Michigan State currently on the floor. Brown.
Double tuck, just landed with her chest a little down, which had to make her hop forwards, but we have Haley Young on bars here. Beautiful bail.
Haley Young's career best was a 9.875 here on the uneven bars.
Lining up for a dismount, she does a double layout. Beautiful with a stuck landing. What a great routine for Haley.
Absolutely incredible there by Haley Young. She scored a pair of 9.9s this season, been very consistent for Iowa State.
And Haley was that key player for bars today, and obviously you saw why. She hit a great routine with a beautiful stuck dismount. On beam, you see a handspring layout from Minnesota. It's very beautiful.
Going back to Haley Young, I mean, her off-season shoulder operation kind of limited what she was able to do on the uneven bars, but you see there, and you've seen it all season long, Courtney, the consistency that she's had, and despite a lackluster amount of time to perfect the bars, she's still doing what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I mean, she's been staying in great shape, and it's obviously paying off. We now have Hillary Green on bars. Hillary has a beautiful bar routine, as you see. Perfect lines, beautiful handstands.
Hillary Green, the senior from
all she has
Madison,
left
Alabama,
is this dismount. If she sticks this dismount, the crowd is going to go crazy. And she does. What a great routine for Hillary. That is gonna put up a huge score for the Cyclones.
A very clutch performance there for Hillary Green and for Iowa State.
See her dismount here again. Beautiful stuck landing. She shows it off. You see Coach Jay Renane in the back there giving that fist pump, very happy.
And Iowa State is no stranger to top 25 competition, but facing a team like Minnesota, you're gonna have to have those huge showings on an event just like Hillary Green did, so that'll really pay off in the end in the final scores.
Yeah, Hillary is always in the gym working hard, and her passion for gymnastics is just amazing, and I look up to her for all the hard work she puts in, not even into just the gym, but like also in her schoolwork and anything she does in life. She always does it with a purpose, and you know, it's honestly amazing, and it pays off big time. And she puts up a huge 9.925. The Cyclones are going to love that score.
A great way to finish off the bars, and you can see here Drew Henderstout on the floor for UW Stout, and now on the beam we have Sierra Gardner, I believe.
Beautiful front aerial into a back handspring layout. Very solid. She looks very determined and very focused up there. Beautiful split jump into a stag jump.
Going back to Hillary Green on the uneven bars, Courtney. She's recently won Big 12 Event Specials of the Week for her 9.9 on the bars in Oklahoma. What can you say about how she's improved and how she's just remained so consistent in her bar showing?
Like you said, she's very consistent, and in the gym, she doesn't do a lot of numbers because she also had shoulder surgery, but with those little numbers that she does it with a purpose, and she does it to make sure that it's perfect.
And now on the vault, UW Stout has concluded all of their performers. And on the bars, Iowa State concluded. They finished out with a 48.95. So that will be the score to beat in this rotation.
Just a little short of that 49 that they always shoot for, but again, we had to not count a fall, but have that rough routine from MJ. But again, they're going to bounce back and come back and finish out this competition really well.
And for Michigan State, you have Leah Mitchell. She's a freshman. She won the all-around title in the last meet, posting an impressive 39.175. She was also the first place finisher on the floor and had the personal best with a 9.850.
You can see she's having a lot of fun out there. A very powerful gymnast as well. You see in those leaps and in her tumbling, very high, very powerful.
She'll be a huge score for Michigan State as they proceed on.
See being there, beautiful handspring layout. And back to floor. Huge double pike with a beautiful landing. Great routine for Michigan State.
Over here on the beam for Minnesota, we have our last competitor for the event,
Beautiful.
Lexi Ramler.
Showing off her flexibility in those jumps that she just did. She's very beautiful on this event. She does a side aerial into a full with a stuck landing. She's very happy with that routine, and so are her teammates. Her teammates want to see that 10 be put up.
That'll be huge for Minnesota. Lexi Ramler is a freshman, and she's won 5 straight all-around titles so far this season. And that concludes the second rotation in tonight's dual meet. We'll come back with all of the final scores as they continue to come in. You're watching Iowa State Gymnastics.
Talk a little bit about how the bars went for you guys.
You know, we start with MJ. MJ last week, 2 weeks ago, won Gymnast of the Week, and she had performed so well, and she had a lot of going on in the beginning, and unfortunately she had a small mistake that cost us, you know, the rhythm of the routines to stop a little bit right from the start, but we were able to pick it up and we finished big.
Excellent, Coach. And then after Hillary Green really came up big for you guys with a score of 9.925 as your anchor. Coach, what does that say?
Like I said, we finished big, and we expect nothing but the best performance from Hillary. She's a senior. She has been doing this for 4 years, and this is 1 meet away from her senior night. And we all, you know, the crowd here was on their feet when she stuck that dismount.
Absolutely, Coach. And now you guys are getting into the beam, Coach. Talk a little bit about that.
Hey, we're a solid team. We're a solid team overall. We had a shaky start on vault today. Bars also had a shaky start. And I hope that now the jitters are out and they will be able to perform well on the balance beam.
You got it. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
You're watching Cyclones Gymnastics on Cyclones.tv, powered by Mediacom. We'll be right back.
We'll start it off on the vault. With UW Stout, they scored a 47.25. Iowa State on the uneven parallel bars with a 48.95. Minnesota on the balance beam with a 48.95. And Michigan State with the floor with a 47.2. In conclusion, that puts Iowa State still in the lead with a 97.8. And second is Minnesota with a 97.35. So Minnesota is still very much within reach for Iowa State. How can Iowa State keep that separation here as they enter the beam, Courtney?
See, now on beam, they can put up great routines and big scores. They just have to go up there with confidence and know that they're going to hit their routines. If they hit those routines and stay calm and confident, they can end up getting a 49 that they won on this event and then move into floor and do really well on floor and then come out on top at the end of this meet.
For the beam, the most recent, Iowa State currently ranks 24th in the country for their balance beam. And we'll start it off here with Ariana Orrego.
Ari's a great person to put in this spot. She's very solid on being very confident. Let's see if she can show that tonight.
And as a freshman, already being a starter on the beam is huge and says a lot to what she can bring to the table.
Very solid handspring layout. Ari's used to being in a very stressful, or not really stressful, but a lot of pressure sets because she actually competed for Peru in the 2016 Summer Olympics, which was very cool. So she's very big in Peru right now, one of the first women to compete for gymnastics in Peru. So she's definitely a name to remember in her country and definitely here for the Cyclones.
Absolutely incredible what she's already accomplished, and as an all-around performer, that says a lot to really what she has under her belt, and coming to a program like here, we'll see her finish here.
Beautiful, ran off 1.5 with just a small hop to the side, but a great way to start out this beam rotation.
As I was saying, coming to a program like here with a performer, an all-around performer like Haley Young and Megan Sievers, it's really hard to work your way into the lineup as an all-around performer, but it's good to know as a freshman that Iowa State has that type of depth moving forward. Looking now on the floor for Minnesota is Montgomery.
She did a front layout, front tuck full. I don't know if she meant to do that tuck full or if it was on accident. It looked like she did punch the floor a little weird. Setting up for her next pass. There's ran off 1.5 front layout. Solid finish. For Minnesota to start out on the floor.
Now Megan Sievers on the beam. Following her will be Molly Russ, Cassandra Diaz, Kelsey Paz, and Haley Young.
Megan is a key player to watch on this event. Megan's very confident on this event. A lot of power, but she controls it, as you see right there on that handspring layout. Beautiful full turn.
Severs is always exciting to watch, really, on no matter what she's doing out there.
She brings a lot of excitement into her gymnastics,
Her
not only with her skills, but also with her energy that she has.
Her career high on the beam is a 9.825.
Switch leap. Very hard to do, but she makes it look super easy. All she has left is her dismount. She has a front full. Just a small hop forwards, but what a great routine for the Cyclones to have.
Great poise, great precision. Really, some of the most exciting performances to watch are the ones that all the technique is just down to the wire. It doesn't matter how simple it is. Like you were saying, Iowa State is more worried about the quality right now rather than the quantity. And it was a performance like that that shows how important it is just to have, doesn't matter how simple the routine is, just to have that nice precision in the performance. So we have UW Stout on the uneven bars. Their performer is preparing Terry. And then we have Michigan State on the vault.
You see Molly Russ on beam here for the Cyclones. This is Molly's third time competing on beam this season. Starting out the routine with a very solid series. You know, lately I've been going into practice some and watching beam, and they've been a lot more confident and a lot more solid on beam. Kristen's been working very hard with them on that, and it's starting to show off in competitions. Beautiful switch leap into a split jump.
Molly Russ continues her concentration here.
Split jump into a straddle half. Beautiful flexibility and form. All she has left is her dismount, and she does a cartwheel gainer full. And she sticks that landing. What a great routine from Molly Russ.
All around, such a great showing there from Molly Russ. The sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio. Iowa State's other scores are a 9.65 from Orrego and a 9.75 from Megan Severs. So it'll be exciting to see what Russ is able to put forth here for Iowa State.
See on floor there, front Rudy, just a small hop to the side, and on vault, a Yurchenko layout with a little bit too much power and had to step back.
Now, Courtney, we've seen from every team that has gone on the uneven bars have one player fall.
Yes, we have. I don't know what it is today. I don't know if the bars are different or if the bounce is a little different than usual. But sometimes you're going to see that in gymnastics, like there are mistakes, and not everyone is perfect in this world and sport, obviously. So seeing this tonight, yes, it's a little weird, but I mean, you're going to see that sometimes.
Next for Iowa State on the beam is Cassandra Diaz. Diaz recorded a 9.825 for 2 consecutive weeks earlier this year.
Cassie is very solid on beam, as you saw in the last 2 meets that she competed at. She's very fun to watch on this event.
She's a sophomore from Downey, California. Her best score on the beam was a 9.9. See if she could channel that here.
She started out her routine with a beautiful split jump into a straddle half as she sets up for her series here. Ooh, and she does take a fall in that series. She looked like she was dead on, but maybe she was just a little off there.
In the last performance by Molly Rush, she scored a 9.725.
Girls competing after Cassie definitely want to get their concentration to the T, because they definitely do not want to have to count another low score throughout this night. Sets up for her dismount. She was a beautiful side aerial into a full. Next for Iowa State on the beam will be Kelsey Paz and Haley Young. Kelsey and Haley are very solid on this routine, on this event. They are always in the gym. It's very rare for them to fall on this event. Kelsey Paz has a 9.875 as her best score on the beam. So hopefully you can see something similar to that. Iowa State still looking very strong here in this third rotation. On floor, you see a beautiful front Rudian over to vault. Yuchenko full. Just a step backwards, but a very powerful vault for Michigan State. Over on the floor, a lot of exciting movement there. She's definitely having a lot of fun with this routine, with this upbeat music, very fun music too. I believe it's Gardner out there. A double tuck, and she does go out of bounds. Definitely a mistake they want to drop. On beam, we have Kelsey Paz, a senior. Beautiful full turn. Does a front aerial into a back handspring, very solid. It's very different to see Kelsey in this fifth spot. She's usually one of the first people to go up to set the tone on beam, but they obviously made changes to this, and she's taking it very well. She'll do a standing layout here, which is very hard, but she does it perfect.
No hesitation, no wobble, all precise movement here from Paz.
Beautiful beat jump into a sheep jump. That skill is also very hard because you do have to take your eyes off the beam, and when you take your eyes off the beam, you never know where the beam's going to be after. With her dismount, a front full, just a hop forwards, but a great routine for Kelsey Paz.
Very strong. Something to look forward to on the scoreboard for Iowa State. You can see a replay here.
Over dismount. See just a little bit too much power, just had to take that hop forwards, but a great routine.
Now the last person on the beam for Iowa State will be Haley Young. We say it a lot, but Haley Young, the consistency that she brings is something that Iowa State knows, and head coach Jay Ronay knows, and Kristen White knows. She's always someone that the team can lean on when they need that high score.
You see Minnesota had a fall there on the floor. Minnesota's definitely not having a night that they usually aim for, but I'm sure they'll be going back into the gym working hard to make sure they don't have those mistakes again. And here we go with Haley Young. Starts her routine off with a full turn, very solid. Setting up for her flight series here, she'll be doing a handspring layout. Very solid and beautiful.
Haley Young has a big follower base here tonight.
This is cat leap into a switch half into a beat jump. Beautiful. Setting up for her side aerial. Side semi, actually. Covered that up there. She was supposed to do a side aerial. All she has left is her dismount. She does a run-off double full. Very capable of sticking this. And she sticks it. What a solid routine for Haley.
The perfect amount of power, the perfect position. position heading out of that dismount and a perfect landing similar to the one that she had on the uneven bars.
You know, she's always working hard on these landings every single day in practice, and it shows up in competitions big time.
Kelsey Paz was awarded a 9.8. Diaz was given a 9.2. So with the performance that Haley Young put up, that'll really be useful for the Cyclones.
Yeah, so they get to drop that 9.2, and which is big for them because they're definitely going to put up a high score for beam.
All the scores are starting to roll in. Minnesota is still making its way through the floor, but Michigan State on the vault has concluded, and they had a couple of 9.4s and 9.3s, so they'll end this rotation with a 143.225.
And Haley Young put up a big 9.9, so they're definitely happy with that beam rotation.
Minnesota is the last one to compete here in this rotation, here on the floor. Always an exquisite event to watch. So much personality comes out on the floor for each of these performers.
Setting up for her coming pass. Goes around off 1.5 front layout. Beautiful. Dances right out of that. She has very beautiful dance, as you see, very dramatic. Setting up for her final pass here. Huge double tuck. Ooh, and she does over-rotate, has to take 2 steps backwards. Other than that last pass, that was a great routine.
UW Stout, Iowa State, and all the teams have finished up here. We'll come back to the start of the final rotation with the final scores of this third rotation. You are watching Iowa State Gymnastics on Cyclones.tv, powered by Mediacom.
Now with the beautiful double pike, setting up for her second pass here.
Ona Looper, really a dynamic player and making such an impact for Minnesota on the vault and on the floor. She, in her first collegiate meet ever, she scored a 9.9 on the floor, so a really key player and performer for Minnesota.
You can see she has beautiful lines on the floor, showing off her flexibility. Setting up for her last pass. There's a 2.5, just a little hop out of it. Looks like she landed on a stiff leg, but a beautiful 2.5 and a beautiful routine.
And that finishes out the third rotation here. We'll come back with the final scores. This is Iowa State Gymnastics on Cyclones.tv, powered by Mediacom.
Les Merritt here alongside Coach Jay. You guys just got done with the beam. Coach, easy start, but then you really started getting into your stuff. Talk about that.
You know, I mean, it hasn't been the ideal meet. You know, we had a lot of things that we had to fight through. A lot of pressure being piled on the team, and they're delivering. You know, so going into beam, which could go bad at any moment, I thought they handled it wonderfully. With Cassie coming down on, missing a skill and coming right off the beam, that puts pressure on the next two. But luckily, it's Kelsey Paz and Haley Young. I don't think they know the meaning of the word. So, I trusted them completely. I know they trusted themselves, and we were going to be fine. We want to take that little bit of confidence that they got, take it to floor now.
Coach, and you mentioned it, you did get into your stuff, and you got some confidence going in here. Yeah. Now you're getting to the fun stuff, your floor routine, Coach. Yeah. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's show-off time. This is the one, everyone's personality gets to shine. They feel very confident on floor, so I think we have a shot at potentially winning this meet if we deliver on this event.
Excellent, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. You're watching Cyclones Gymnastics on Cyclones.tv, powered by Mediacom. We'll be right back.
Those landings that we've been talking about, they've been very important throughout this entire meet, and obviously it's still important here on floor. Starting out her first pass, she does a run-up handspring, huge double tuck with a perfect landing. Those are the landings that they're going to want for all their routines and all of their tumbling passes.
Brings a lot of flavor onto the floor.
Yeah, she does. Very fast-paced, but very dramatic music. A lot of violins going on here, but again, she has beautiful dance, and I love watching her on floor.
We have UW Scout gearing up here on the beam.
Our second pass was a run off 1.5, front layout. Again, another perfect landing. Like I said on beam, she's used to these intense, well, not intense competitions, but all the pressure that she has. Being this first person to go up, she probably doesn't feel as much pressure. Like I said, she went into the 2016 Summer Olympics, so she's used to this, competing in front of a huge crowd, finishing up this routine with a beautiful double pike, and that was I say, near perfect routine.
Really, really exciting performance from Ariana Orrego. Such poise and such a veteran attitude out there. Despite her being just a freshman, it's absolutely unbelievable. We're going to bring it over to the beam for UW Stout.
You see that stuck landing there.
Very
happy with that routine.
That was Boone in a very, very strong landing.
You see Ari there again, showing that last pass. Beautiful double pike with a beautiful landing.
As you can see, you have Minnesota on the vault, UW Stout on the beam, Michigan State on the bars, and Iowa State, of course, on the floor to round out this final rotation. A very comfortable lead here for Iowa State, and going into a rotation where they're always very comfortable, very confident. It's a great way to close it out to ensure a good ending for the team.
No, for every single team, honestly, whenever they have a competition at home, going into floor last is a huge opportunity to have, yeah. And they definitely take advantage of it, and they show off their routines, do their big tumbling like they have no worries.
We have Megan Sievers now over on the floor on the big screen.
Megan has a very fun routine, and she loves to show it off. She loves to show everything off. And in the gym, you'll see what I talk about, and in this routine, starting off that routine with a beautiful double tuck.
On the big screen now, we have Beaver getting ready on the beam for UW Stout. Back to Sievers.
Megan's always having big smiles on her face throughout this whole entire routine. I'm pretty sure she's smiling even during her tumbling passes. Her teammates in the background having fun with her. Sets up for her second pass. She goes for a handspring, front full, front pike. Beautiful with a perfect landing.
Upbeat energy on her music choice here.
Yes, it's a lot different for her.
Very different than Orrego.
Yes,
Orrego was
a lot different.
A spicy flair to her music.
Setting up for her last pass here, taking that last deep breath. She goes front Rudy into a split jump. You see that power she has with, and also another perfect landing that she controls. And a great routine for the Cyclones.
Every rotation, Courtney, is intense. Every rotation requires a lot of skill. But one performer that never gives me any type of anxiety or any type of stress is Megan Sievers, especially on the floor. You can really sit back and relax and trust that her work in the gym will translate well in real life competition.
You know, in the gym, she's always in there. She will put in, I don't know how many numbers to make sure that routine is perfect, and obviously it shows off here in competitions. And we actually just saw Michigan, another fall, well, not another fall for them, but another fall on bars for Michigan State.
Yeah, there's something, as they say, when you're in Hilton Coliseum, there's a magic that is undescribable. There's some type of similar voodoo on uneven bars tonight because every team has had a fall, which is unfortunate, but when you look at the grand scheme of things, they all kind of cancel out on top of it already canceling out for the lowest score. So every team seeing that unfortunate fall. But now on the floor we have Molly Russ. Molly Russ had a great performance in the beam earlier tonight.
And she's actually making her debut here for the season on floor. This is the first time competing floor for us. She will start her routine out with a huge sky-high double pike, and she does step out of bounds, but I'm sure she'll finish out this routine perfectly. Molly has a very fun routine, very sassy, just like her personality. Setting up for her second pass here. Her handspring from full, front pike, and other perfect landing. Having a lot of fun out there. Setting up for her last pass. Round of handspring, double tuck, beautiful landing. What a great routine for Molly.
Exciting stuff for Iowa State. Courtney, when you enter the final rotation with a sizely advantage, maybe a 1-point lead like Iowa State approximately has over the second team, Minnesota, does it help with the mentality that you don't have so much pressure going into it?
Yes, it does, but also you have to make sure you stay focused, because if you're too relaxed, sometimes you can have those little mistakes and not even realize it, and it can definitely hurt in the end. So it's definitely important for them to stay focused on what they're doing.
UW Stout had a approximate 9.2 and a 9.4 over on the beam. Iowa State with a 9.825 and a 9.8 on the floor. On the vault, Minnesota with a 9.6, 9.675, 9.775, and the 9.8 approximately. And then over on the bars, Michigan State, a 9.775 and 9.550. And that 9.1, although, as we mentioned before, with a fall like that, it won't discount the overall score as they get dropped. So right now on the big screen, you're looking at UW Stout with their third performer on the beam. Brought it over to Ledesma. Brianna Ledesma gearing up. Ledesma is hands down one of Iowa State's most reliable gymnasts on the floor. She's always, this season and in the past, been so remarkable when she's out there. She brings intensity, athleticism, and usually is the one to give Iowa State their highest score on the floor.
Yeah, you'll see she has a very different floor routine than any other person in this building. We call her the ninja of the team, but this routine is a lot of fun.
Very ninja-like, you're right.
Setting up for her first pass with round handspring, huge double pike with a perfect landing.
Incredible. Reflecting on tonight, a lot of quality on Iowa State's part, and as you mentioned, that being a key for the gymnasts in the gym. It's great to see it translate here in competition.
Yeah, very different, unique second pass here from handspring front full, front half, straddle jump into a front tuck and dances right out of it. All she has left is this last pass. She ends it with a double tuck. Sky high double tuck, what a perfect landing. What a great rotation so far for the Cyclones. I'm definitely enjoying this and having a lot of fun.
And Ledesma brings it to the table for Iowa State.
See that fun celebration there. She goes to give her teammates some high fives. You see that second pass here, very unique. The front handspring, front full, front half, straddle jump, front tuck, and she dances right out of that.
So much energy. Now you're looking over at Michigan State on the bars. You have Haley Westney.
A very beautiful routine, a very different dismount. You usually don't see that here in college gymnastics.
Westney is a performer to watch for Michigan State, despite being in third. She's really helped elevate Michigan State over UW Stout. And we have Kelsey Paz gearing up for her floor routine, sharing a couple words with head coach Jay Ronay.
Kelsey's a lot of fun to watch on floor. She's always very bubbly, a lot of smiles during this whole routine, you'll see.
One thing I've noticed that you can't see on camera, but during her routines, she'll look you straight in the eye if you're watching her in the crowd.
You can see she has a big smile on her face. Starts us out here with a huge double tuck. Beautiful, perfect landing. Her routine is a lot of fun. Switch back into a jumper. Setting up for her second pass. She goes for a handspring, front full, front layout. Beautiful, again with that other perfect landing. Now, like I said, throughout this whole entire competition, landings are very important here, and they're showing those perfect landings, and it's gonna pay off. Setting up for her last pass. There's a front handspring, front Rudy, back layout, step out, and a beautiful routine for Kelsey Paz. Hilton is loving this energy right now for sure.
Great stuff from Kelsey Paz, the veteran performer. Someone Iowa State can always rely on. Most of Iowa State's veteran performers, the reliability and the consistency is so key, and that's why Iowa State has had so much success this season, bringing in that new talent as well, but truly being ranked for the majority of the season, if not all, if I'm correct here. And being ranked, especially coming into the meet at that 25 spot, nothing will light a team up more than being just on the cusp to ensure that they will not drop from those top 25 rankings. And Iowa State did exactly what they needed to do so far in tonight's meet to stay up in those rankings. And now we have Haley Young for the final routine of the night for all the teams here in tonight's quad meet.
This is definitely going to be a treat for all the fans out here. Very fun routine to watch. going to start out this routine with a huge pull-in. Sky high with a perfect landing. Haley has a lot of fun with this routine, and so do her teammates. They're always doing it with her competitions and in practice. Beautiful switch half into a straddle full. Setting up for a second pass. Goes for a handspring, front pull, front lie out. Beautiful. All she has left is just one more pass. And if this landing is perfect like how she always does it, she is definitely going to score a 9-9 and higher. Here it is. Huge double pike with that perfect landing. What a great routine for Haley. That is definitely going to be a huge score for the Cyclones.
I don't know if we saw her hop at the end one time tonight.
No, she definitely, you saw it in her face before she even landed it. It was going to be a perfect landing. That just gave me chills. That was a great routine for Haley.
All right, we will be back after a quick break, and we'll break things down. This is Iowa State Gymnastics on Cyclones.tv, powered by Mediacom. Iowa State, Courtney, what was Iowa State able to do to put such an edge over Minnesota?
You know, after their couple mistakes throughout this evening, they were able to come together as a team and just stay focused on only them and not worry about what the other teams are doing or the scores. When they do that, they are very determined and very focused in with what they have to do, and when that happens, it surely pays off, and it showed tonight.
Absolutely. Really, everything that Iowa State tries to capitalize on and tries to execute came to life here tonight. Something they should really be proud of, and it'll help out their resume for this upcoming rankings. But it is now time for the award ceremony, so we are going to bring it to the PA announcer for tonight's awards.
On the uneven bars with a score of 9.925, congratulations, Hillary Green, tonight's Mary Ray Soper Award winner. And now for our competition awards here this evening. We begin with the vault competition. Finishing in first place on vault, we have a tie with scores of 9.875 from the University of Minnesota, Lexi Ramler, and from Iowa State University, Megan Sievers. Tying with scores of 9.875 in vault. And now moving to the uneven bars, finishing in first place tonight with that score of 9.925 that we recognized just a moment ago with our Soper Award from Iowa State, Hillary Green. In balance beam, we have a tie. The score is 9.9 from the University of Minnesota, Lexi Ramler, and from Iowa State, Haley Young. In floor exercise, coming in first place with a score of 9.875 from Iowa State University, Kelsey Paz. Picking up the top score in the all-around competition this evening, a final score of 39.35 from Iowa State, Haley Young. And for the team scores this evening, finishing with a score of 185.55, University of Wisconsin Stouts. from Michigan State University with a final team score 191.775. The Spartans from Michigan State with a final team score of 194.425. The Minnesota Golden Gophers. And finishing in first place in the team scores with that final team score 195.775, your Iowa State Cyclones.